Today, we are going to talk about when expectations don't meet reality. Okay. Before we get into that, though, if you're watching on YouTube and you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you know whenever I go live. If you're not watching on YouTube, feel free to pop over and do that just so that you are getting those notifications in a timely manner. All right. And if you're watching this live, feel free to hop in the chat and say, hey, what's going on? Hey, girl, hey. All right. So this is something that I have been having a lot of realization around and really having some like internal struggles. And I didn't actually even know that this was what was happening with me until I had talked with some mentors, and I actually started reading Brene Brown's new book, Atlas of the Heart, and she talks about expectations in there and the feelings around that. And I was like, wow, talk about feeling called out, right? So one thing, well, first of all, we're constantly, unless you're very, very like self-aware, and even if you are self-aware, we set up expectations non-stop in our brains. Like, so much so, what is our morning going to look like? What do we want for breakfast? What are you going to do for the day? What do you want to get done? All of these things, right? It's like as soon as we wake up, our list of expectations starts, like, we just kind of have it planned out. What we know is a lot of times those expectations are not actually what happens, right? That's why we're talking about this today, when expectation doesn't mean reality, because a lot of times we have expectations, whether we're aware that we made those expectations or not, right? It's like when I wake up in the morning and the kids are still sleeping and I've set my alarm to purposely wake up before the kids, and I'm expecting to be able to do my morning routine, right? But in reality, one of the kids inevitably wakes up early too. Well, what does that do to you? Because for me, a lot of times I start to feel frustrated, frazzled, angry, and sometimes even a little resentful of like, this was supposed to be my time, right? Why are you waking up early and interrupting my morning routine, right? And so that's just one example. And so we have these feelings of disappointment, resentment, feeling frustrated or frazzled or irritated, right? And a lot of times we don't even know what the root cause is, right? Like you're just like, I don't know, I'm just grouchy today and I don't know why. After doing a lot of reflection for myself, when I was having these feelings like day after day, I realized for me that it was setting expectations and then those expectations not becoming reality. So, what can we do about it? One thing that I'm trying to learn and be more aware of is communicating those, or like sharing out with the people around me. And again, this learning, like I said, a lot of this learning came from Brene Brown's book and what she talks about in setting expectations. And she actually mentions doing like a reality check on our expectations. And I just love that. I was like, I'm like, man, I even need to do this with my husband and our family of like, I need you to check my expectations, right? That self check. And so like just communicating or being open to sharing, first of all, what your expectations are, right? That's kind of the first thing, because if we can share with other people, especially when are like in a marriage, when you're working back and forth, right? And like you have your expectations of the day and they have their expectations of the day, like being able to communicate that so that you're both on the same page, right? And same with the kids, right? What are your expectations of what the day's going to look like with your kids? And being able to like communicate that with them so they know what the plan is, right? Because what we need, our kids also need. And then one thing that I'm still learning is when they don't meet reality, understanding and being able to say, oh, that's because I'm irritable because I was expecting A to happen and instead B happened. And now I'm wondering if I'm going to get to A, if A is no longer a priority, right? Or I not trying to stress about A. And so when expectations don't meet reality, we have to like do another check and be like, okay, is there time, right, for this to still happen, right? Or why was this expectation so important to me, right? For me, I find a lot of times it comes down to a time issue of like, and a to do. Like, I really wanted to get this done and I felt like I needed to get it done, right? That need. And then digging in deeper, like, once we can actualize it and communicate it and then think about it, say, oh, my expectation was this. That didn't happen the way that I wanted it to. So now, what is my next step? Is it postponing the thing? Is it changing the thing? And one of the things that's been really beneficial to me is releasing the pressure off myself when my expectations are not, reality is not the same as what I expected to be. Like being okay with that and then also releasing that, right? And then again, communicating that ahead of time. That's something I'm still working on. Especially for those of you who have a hard time asking for help. Okay, like if you struggle with asking for help, you probably also struggle with your expectations not being met and then feeling flustered and frustrated and angry and possibly even resentful of the people around you on why those aren't being met. Or just life in general, right? Like I expected this to happen and life took a totally different turn and now I'm floundering, right? It doesn't have to be that way, right? So, yeah. So for me, that's what I'm learning and working through, which is why I wanted to come on here and share with all of you. Let me know in the comments if that resonated with you or if you want to learn more about that. We're going to be digging deeper into that in my Facebook community, right? It's totally free. You can pop in, check it out, see if it's a right fit for you. But it's a smaller community to really talk through things and get discussions going and really pinpoint where you're at, right, on the spectrums and what those next steps can be. So if you're interested, go ahead and hop in. Those of you who are already in my group, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me know what you guys think about this. And if you have any questions or anything or any ahas or just want to dig deeper, please let me know. All righty, you guys have the best day. Bye-bye.